Okay, everybody, I'm going to have to breeze right through this because I want to get it all into one video so that you don't have to come to another website to finish watching it. But if you have more information, you can always go to seekerofthetruth.com. What I'm going to attempt to do is, in a nutshell, in what has become a symbol for me, show you how I believe that all religions are connected. Even though we like to think that we're separate, I believe that we're all connected. I believe we can look at it like a magnet. We have a positive end, we have a negative end, and we have the median, which I call it. I also like to look at this as in colors. We have white, we have black, and then we have every shade of gray in between that you can imagine and not imagine. If you pick one of those shades, we could let that represent your belief. That doesn't take away any of these other shades of gray. There's more than one shade of gray. In fact, there's from one end of the scale to the other, you have all these different shades of belief, if you will. Well, you can imagine we can't even get two ministers of the same denomination to agree on everything about their religion, much less the entire world to agree on everything. It just doesn't even make sense anyway. We are all on our own paths. And that does not mean, and it certainly clarifies to me, that there is not just one way to it. There are many different paths, which are what these three lines down the middle represent to me. There's more than one path to it. Well, I can explain that in a pie. We break ourselves off into our belief groups. I was brought up to believe in Christianity. Then you have all the other religions. On the other end of the scale, we may have Buddhism or Hinduism or any of the other religions. And because I'm allotted for time, I'm just going to make this ugly sketch continue. And even a small slither, which we will represent as atheism. For some reason, we still need atheism. It has a lesson to teach us here, but I do believe at some point we may be able to rid ourselves of atheism, and it will no longer be a piece of the pie, if you will, be a different tasting cake. Well, this picture expands also out into levels, and it's levels of thought. Let me expand on this just a moment by saying experts tell us that we have about 60,000 thoughts a day, but that 95% of them are the same ones you had yesterday. So we keep rehashing these old thoughts over and over and over again. But if we can take just a small bit, maybe one or two or three of those 5% new thoughts we have each day, and focus on those, that is most likely what we're going to end up attracting into our life. It just makes sense. What you think about the most are the things that you end up taking action on, which therefore give you the things that you experience in your life. What you think about the most is what you see showing up. Those are the things you're taking action on. What I noticed is that God, whatever you call that, does not look at your religion. It looks at your intentions. The intentions behind why you think what you think. That's why you can have two people do the exact same thing except get a different response. Their experience is totally different because their intentions were different. It's the thought behind the thought. Why did you think what you thought? Because that thought is like an energy wave. The way I understand it, we've measured neurons firing off. We've seen pictures of this. What that represents to me is that it's going out to it. That thought is energy, a spark that goes out to it, and it is carrying weight of intention. And when it gets to it, it responds according to the intention behind why you thought what you thought, regardless of your religion. The same is, it's your interpretation and the intention behind why you did what you did. Another interesting thing, speaking of interpretation, you can take two people to do the same thing, get that whole different reaction. It's like a roller coaster ride. I heard the analogy not long ago where two people get on a roller coaster One defines it as being the most wonderful experience he's ever had in his life. The other, sitting right beside him, had his hands clenched in the seat, could not wait to get off, was terrified. They did the exact same thing, except they had a different interpretation. So they're going to get a different result. The chemicals in their body even are going to be different. It's interpretation and intention of this belief system. Wherever your shade of gray is, it's important, I believe, to understand that there are other different shades of gray, and we are all heading in the same direction. We're going towards the same goal. We just like to think, I think it's an ego thing sort of, where we like to think our way is the smartest and best way, just because that's what we were taught. Bottom line to me is that if you're willing to step outside of the walls that you were taught and look for the commonalities, you're going to find that we're a lot more the same than we are different. And all the little things that we disagree on don't even really matter. If we would understand that we're all connected, it's almost as if we're one organism. At its molecular level, scientists tell us that you can see right through us. We're invisible. So on that level, even though we appear to be different and separate from one another, we're really not. It's all connected. And that's the moral of this story. The secret of the truth is it boils down to the intentions behind why you think what you think, and what you think about the most is what you're going to see showing up, and it's all connected. SecretOfTheTruth.com. I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me via email at seeker@secretofThetruth.com. That's seeker@secretofThetruth.com.